You're 68 years old, standing in your kitchen, and you just walked up a flight of stairs without stopping to catch your breath. Sounds ordinary, right? But here's what most people never realize. That single act means you have something 70% of people your age have already lost. I'm about to show you 7 abilities that separate the people who age powerfully from those who quietly fade. If you still have these 7 things, you are not just holding on, you are winning. My name is Dr. David. I have spent 28 years studying aging patterns in over 9,000 patients between the ages of 60 and 95. Some of them at 75 move better than people half their age. Others struggle to get out of a chair at 62. The difference is never genetics, it is never luck. It is these 7 specific abilities. Last week, a woman named Patricia came into my office, 71 years old. Her daughter wanted her to consider assisted living. Patricia was shaken. But here is what I noticed the moment she walked in. She entered without assistance. She sat down in the chair smoothly. She held my gaze when she spoke. 3 abilities right there telling me everything I needed to know. Patricia does not need assisted living. She needs to protect what she still has. Hit subscribe before we go further. This information could add years to your independence. Now let me show you exactly what to look for. Ability number 1. You can stand up from a chair without using your arms. Try it right now. Sit down, cross your arms over your chest, and stand up. Nothing but your legs. Can you do it? If yes, your leg strength is in the top 30% for your age group. A study from the University of Southern California tracked 5,000 seniors for 8 years. Those who could stand from a chair without hands had half the mortality risk of those who couldn't. Half. Because that movement requires strength, balance, and coordination, all firing together. When it goes, everything else starts collapsing fast. I had a patient named George, 73. He couldn't stand without pushing off the armrests. 6 months later, he fell in his bathroom, broken hip, 2 surgeries, wheelchair. But his decline began years before that fall. It began the day he stopped rising unassisted. He just never recognized it as a warning sign. Your legs are your foundation. Once that foundation cracks, the whole structure becomes vulnerable. Stand from a chair 10 times today. No hands. If you can do it, you are protecting your independence. If you cannot, we need to address that now. Ability number 2. You can walk for 20 minutes without stopping. Not run, not jog. Just walk continuously for 20 minutes. Most people assume this is easy. It is not. I have watched 65-year-olds struggle to reach the 10-minute mark, breathing hard, legs aching, needing to sit. What is happening inside? The cardiovascular system is failing. Muscles have weakened. Endurance is gone. Researchers at Johns Hopkins found that seniors who could walk for 30 minutes straight had 63% better heart health than those who could not. Better heart health, better blood flow, better brain function, sharper thinking. It all connects. I worked with a man named Richard, 66. He got winded walking to his mailbox, 80 feet from his front door. He had been driving his car to the end of the driveway to collect his mail and telling himself it was fine. When he told me that in the office, we both sat quietly for a moment. We started with 5-minute walks, then 10, then 15. 3 months later, Richard walked 2 miles without stopping. His doctor reduced his blood pressure medication. His wife said he seemed like himself again, all from walking. But here is what most people miss about walking. It reaches the brain. Every step pumps fresh blood through your neural tissue. More blood, more oxygen, more living brain cells. A Stanford study following seniors for 12 years found that regular walkers had 41% less cognitive decline. That is the difference between remembering your grandchildren's names and grasping for them. Set a timer tomorrow morning. Walk 20 minutes without stopping. If you can, you have ability number 2. Now those are the first 2 abilities. But here is where it gets serious. The next ability I'm about to show you is something most doctors rarely mention. Yet it predicts your lifespan more accurately than almost anything else. Before I walk you through these 7 abilities, I want to say this clearly. If you want to go beyond these 7 abilities and learn about the 17 health concerns that matter most after 60E, from strength and mobility to heart health, brain health, nutrition, and sleep, I've put everything into one straightforward ebook with practical steps you can actually use. The link is in the description below. Now let us get into it. Ability number 3. You can balance on one foot for 10 seconds. Sounds simple. It is not. I test this regularly in my practice. In a group of 20 seniors last month, only 4 could hold it. The rest wobbled, grabbed the wall, or immediately put their foot down. Balance is not just about steadiness. When it goes, falls happen. When falls happen, bones break. When bones break, independence ends. A Mayo Clinic study tracked 5,000 seniors for 13 years. Those who could not balance on one foot for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death within the following decade. Not correlation. Your body sending a distress signal through your feet. Balance reveals whether your inner ear, your vision, your muscles, and your brain are still communicating correctly. All 4 systems must work in harmony. One failure, and you cannot stand on one leg. I had a patient named Carol, 68. She could not hold for 3 seconds. She assumed it was just age. It was not. Her inner ear had deteriorated. Her leg muscles had weakened. Her brain was processing spatial data incorrectly. 3 separate systems had each declined a small amount, and together the combined effect had stolen her stability. We practiced standing on one foot while brushing her teeth, walking heel to toe across her living room, holding the counter lightly at first, then not at all. 4 weeks later, Carol held for 15 seconds without grabbing anything. Her confidence changed in ways that surprised even me. She started walking places she had been avoiding for 2 years. She told me, "I forgot I was supposed to be afraid." Balance is not only physical. When you trust your body to stay upright, you move through the world differently. You take stairs. You walk on uneven sidewalks without fear. You live bigger. Stand up right now, lift one foot. Hold for 10 seconds. Can you do it without wobbling? If yes, your balance system is intact. If not, we need to rebuild it before something serious happens. Ability number 4. You can touch your toes, or at least reach past your knees. Flexibility disappears so slowly that most people do not notice it is gone until they cannot bend down to tie their shoes. Tight hamstrings, locked hips, rigid spine. Your body becomes a cage you cannot exit. A researcher at the University of North Texas found that seniors who could touch their toes had 49% better arterial flexibility than those who could not. Your blood vessels were more elastic, better able to manage pressure changes. Stiffer arteries raise stroke risk. Your hamstring flexibility literally predicts your artery health. Your body is more connected than most doctors take the time to explain. I worked with a woman named Margaret, 74. She could not bend past her knees. Her back hurt every single day. She was convinced she needed surgery. She did not. She needed to stretch. We began with simple forward folds, barely reaching her thighs at first. Every day a little further. 3 months later, she touched her toes for the first time in over 2 decades. The back pain left. She stopped the pain medication entirely. 5 minutes of daily stretching changed her life. Ability number 5. You can carry a full bag of groceries from the car to your kitchen without setting it down. Grip strength. Carrying ability. This one reveals something most people do not think about until it is gone. A study from the British Medical Journal tracked grip strength in 140,000 adults. Every 11-pound drop in grip strength was associated with a 17% higher risk of cardiovascular death. Your hand strength predicts your heart health. I had a patient named Harold, 72, former carpenter, hands that had built things his whole life. He came in because his daughter noticed him taking 2 trips for groceries when he used to take one. He was embarrassed. He said it started 6 months ago and he had been pretending not to notice. We tested his grip. It had dropped significantly. His forearm muscles had atrophied from years of reduced demand. We started with simple squeezing exercises, resistance bands, and carrying light-weighted bags a little further each day. 8 weeks later, Harold was back to 1 trip from the car. He told me with a small smile. It sounds like nothing, but it felt like getting something back. That is exactly what it is. Getting something back. Your grip connects through your entire upper body chain. When it weakens, daily tasks accumulate into daily frustrations. Squeeze something every day. A towel, a resistance ball, a firm handshake. Keep your hands strong, and your heart will thank you. Ability number 6. You can touch your toes with eyes closed while standing, meaning your body knows where it is in space without looking. Proprioception, your brain's internal GPS. Close your eyes right now and touch your nose with one finger. You can do it because your brain tracks your hand without needing to see it. After 70, this system begins losing accuracy. Your brain loses track of exactly where your feet are. You think you are clearing a step. You are not. You trip. A University of Michigan study had seniors walk upstairs wearing motion sensors. The seniors believed they were lifting their feet 6 inches. The sensors measured 3. Their brains were miscalculating by half. This is why seniors trip over objects they can see. Not weakness, not poor vision. The brain's map of the body becoming inaccurate. I worked with a patient named Robert, 76. He had tripped over his own feet 3 times in 1 month on flat ground. We trained proprioception. Standing on 1 foot with eyes closed, walking heel to toe in a straight line, reaching for objects without looking first. 6 weeks of daily practice and the tripping stopped entirely. Your brain can relearn. It needs the right stimulus. Ability number 7. You can get up off the floor unassisted. This is the final test. Lie flat on the floor right now. Stand up. No hands, no furniture, no pushing off anything. Can you do it? Most seniors cannot. They need to roll to one side, push up to their knees, grab something, pull themselves upright. That matters because if you fall and cannot rise, you wait until someone finds you. A woman in Oregon, 74 years old, fell in her kitchen at night. She could not get up. She lay on that floor for 19 hours before a neighbor came by. 19 hours. Dehydration, muscle damage, pneumonia from immobility. She survived, but never fully recovered. Getting off the floor demands total body integration, core muscles, leg muscles, arm strength, balance, coordination, all at once. Brazilian researchers created the sitting-rising test. You sit to the floor and stand up, losing a point each time you use a hand, knee, or support. Low scorers had 6 times higher mortality risk over the following 6 years. I worked with a man named Gregory, 78, former construction worker, powerful his whole life. He slipped getting out of the bathtub and could not stand back up. Had to crawl to the phone and call his daughter. He told me afterward, I felt like I wasn't myself anymore. We trained methodically. Chair to standing without hands, then lower surfaces, then finally the floor. 2 months of daily practice. Gregory stood up from the floor with no assistance, and he has not stopped since. Practice it. From your bed first, then lower surfaces, eventually the floor itself. Your survival may depend on it. Your body is a system. These 7 abilities reinforce each other. Walking builds leg strength. Leg strength supports balance. Balance lets you move confidently. Flexibility prevents the falls. Grip strength keeps you functional in daily life. Proprioception keeps your brain's map accurate. Floor mobility proves everything still works together. Lose one and the others begin unraveling. I have watched this cascade hundreds of times. Someone stops walking regularly. Legs weaken. Weakened legs make balance worse. Poor balance creates fear. Fear reduces movement. Reduced movement creates stiffness. Stiffness leads to falls. Falls lead to fractures. Fractures lead to surgery. Surgery leads to bed rest. Bed rest leads to muscle loss. And a person who was fully independent 6 months earlier can no longer live alone. But it does not have to go that way. You can reverse it. You can rebuild every single one of these abilities, even if you have already lost them. I have watched people in their 70s recover strength they had not felt in a decade. I have seen people in their 80s relearn balance until they could stand on 1 foot again. Age is not the enemy. Stillness is. Start today. Walk 10 minutes. Stand on one leg while you brush your teeth. Reach toward your toes before bed. Practice rising from the floor. Squeeze something in your hands. Close your eyes and touch a doorknob without looking. 10 minutes total. That is all it takes to maintain these 7 abilities. 10 minutes a day is the difference between living independently at 90 and needing care at 75. Every senior I have known who remained independent into their 90s did these things. No miracle supplements, no special genetics. They simply moved their bodies every day in these 7 specific ways, and their bodies responded. Because your body wants to function. It wants to be capable. It wants to carry you through decades more. Give it the right signals, and it will answer. Patricia stayed out of assisted living. George regained his strength. Richard walks 2 miles. Carol moves through the world without fear. Margaret does not hurt anymore. Harold carries his own groceries. Robert stopped tripping. Gregory gets off the floor with dignity. They are not special. They are people who decided to take control. You have the same choice. The question is whether you start today or wait until something breaks. These 7 abilities determine your future. Protect them like your life depends on it. Because it does.